Hello, everybody, and welcome on back to WLIS When Login Issues Strike, or Wizard Living is Supreme. I don't know. Not to focus too much on the name, the important part is we are continuing our journey to fixing world problems, in a nutshell, basically. That involves everything from tech to politics to religion to human psychology, all the things, all of the aspects. Kind of like a macro level view of what's going on and what can be done better and and how can each person help. So, and there's already like plenty of effort into this direction by a lot of different people. I know I was watching a video from Mr. Beast lately that had, in fact, I still need to check in on this, but I've got a note to do that. Um, there's an app to see how you can volunteer, like how you can sign up for things in your local area, and that's awesome. Like that needs to happen because so often, and volunteering looks great for your resume, and almost everyone requires it now. For if you're wanting especially if you're trying to have an edge on the competition, trying to get a job somewhere, like the person with volunteering experience is going to get the job over someone who doesn't because that shows um, the ability to give back to your community or to think bigger than oneself, to think of a greater collective of humanity moving forward and humanity, male and female, which one of my wow. First, let's back up a little bit. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build shrines to basically house different examples of projects to kind of present what's going on in a more visually appealing way. And to do that, I'm going to go ahead. Well, first I'm going to do this while we talk about it. Harvest these because I'm trying to save up wheat and seeds and all that. But anyways, using Minecraft to display information in a visually appealing way. And eventually, I mean, there are ways where you can release copies of maps to the world. So, and I'm sure it's pretty easy. Like as soon as I figure it out, but I'm gonna sit down one day and try to figure that out and actually share this out. And then people can get it, or they can watch the videos. They can get the transcripts because I read most of what I write. So, also, ta-da! We're just actually doing that. Let's make room. Wait, which is this one? Just a regular book and quill. There's probably something interesting in it. Hold on. It's been running around, or maybe not. Maybe it's a fresh one. Yep, movies and voting and okay. So yeah, this is season 3 of When Login Issues Strike. So there's a lot to go back on, but I plan on making this so succinct that I could just send people the link, be like, here, check out When Login Issues Strike season 3. You can go back and watch the other ones if you want, but this will have everything you need to be prepared. In fact, we'll take that book in case we think of something while we're out harvesting materials. But basically, what I need is a lot of materials to build a lot of temples, to build ideas for things. So, while we get those materials, meaning a lot of diorite, basically, is what I'm after right now. I used up a lot, and I'm building that spire, which needs all the stairs. And also, you can see I did that with with these stairs. So let's see. So I started here. Let's go ahead and okay. So, anyways, yeah. So separating out the problems. So I mean, well, I guess I should start with I'm trying to work on one social media platform to rule them all. Basically, as a rip off of Lord of the Rings, but basically a landing page or place where people can go to be like, okay, well, here's this, and here's this, and here's a link to that. Now, there's pieces of LinkedIn that are great for that. There's pieces of Facebook that are great for that. There's pieces of X app that are great for that, but none of them really. I mean, I kind of joked about it before, but MySpace really had it all. Like MySpace was the one because you could arrange where you wanted things to be. Like it was basically like a table, and you're inviting somebody over to your table, and you could just have all this stuff sprawled out, like so you could see all these different things, and you'd have a song playing, like they'd have some music going, or you'd get to pick a song or your profile song. So when people went to your MySpace page, they would hear a little ditty, that kind of described you or what represented you, or something that was important to you, and then you have a spot for your biography, a little intro to who you are, and then just whatever interests you, like a lot of different posts or pictures or articles, or and you could kind of click and drag them. So that's what I want to work on now, and basically calling it the Charlie Day Wall app or the Charlie Day Wall website or something. I'm gonna have to get permission from the actual Charlie Day, which honestly, that's pretty exciting to think about. Like, I mean, he might end up being a total jerk or whatever, but like, I could just explain and be like, hey, well, first off, love your show. I know you catch a lot of flack for being that. Anyways, yeah. But my point is we need to bring back the MySpace mentality of a more kind of wide tool, because everything is like made for cell phones and it's so small and it's just like up down and it's kind of hard to navigate back and forth. Like, and even on a cell phone, these wide angle like tools are easy once people realize they can click and drag and just like, slide things to the right or the left. I've said it before, but scratch coding, which it's not the best medium, and I plan on doing a lot of stuff there, but that's like more just for kids. Like, you can't really do the more adult concepts or the adult jokes or things like that because it's a kid heavy resource. However, it is still fun to make comics and stuff, and I still plan on doing that. But you just have to make them kid appropriate, so it doesn't work for our needs. But the the user interface in there, the UI, is where you can click and drag to the side a very big area where you're just like dropping snippets of code onto a table, and you can move left, right, up and down of this table and see all the different code snippets. And so, really handy. I mean, really easy to code. But at the same time, it is a little confusing because it kind of goes against the way that normally how computer code works is it's just top down, left to right, like reading a page in a book, because it can only do one thing at a time. Mm. By default, I say. I mean, you can definitely do parallel programming, especially nowadays, and if you have multiple cores in your computer, you could have one doing one task and another doing another task. And that's why, so many things are able to do so many things. Like, I'm sure this PlayStation has multiple things, because it's always, or at least a very generous swap space, because, like, I can be in one game, and then from the launcher, I'll be like, oh, I'm just going to go to another game, and then just, like, it's very quick, way quicker than it used to be back in the day, because it's not having to reload and like, set everything up for the game. So, I mean, there's still delays, but, I mean, compared to the dial-up days, I digress. So, anyways, what are we even talking about today? So, I looked up Lent. It's this month. It's right now, apparently. Just because I was like, how funny. Like Ramadan and Lent, they seem very similar. And just like how there's a lot of similarities in all like main religions. And I plan on doing that too. But like Lent, a time when you give up something and try to humble yourself as a show of humility. Um, trying to shed off some pride. Humble yourself. That's the best way to say it. And I was talking to a couple people about, well, one person recently, and I lived with some people that followed Islam and Ramadan. They grew up Muslim, and they tried to explain it a little bit. And it's just like a time of, it's a holiday, it's a holy season that you do these things during the day. You show sacrifice, and you know, it's good because we all need our egos checked. It's really easy to let our egos run away. Um, and it's really a sign of maturity when you can stop yourself and be like, actually, hold on, no. I mean, when you can correct yourself or something. And I'm a very big fan of fixing it before it festers into something worse. Because if you say a lie, or if you say something, or even, boast, or the fish is this big type story, like if you brag a little too much, then that's a check that you have to be able to cash later on in society, because somebody can call you out on that later and be like, oh, and then if it ends up being false or even misleading, then that looks bad on you. That reflects poorly on you. And one or two maybe not a big deal, especially depending on the type of person you usually are. But if it becomes a habit and a lot of people start to notice this, then yeah, kind of start to get cast out by society, which is not a death sentence. It's not a life-ending thing, and I think that's why. Sorry, not to sound all nonchalant about that, but I think a lot of young people, kids and teens, dealing with depression and expectations and anxiety and all this stuff going on, um, for whatever reason. I mean, Elon was saying the other day that he read a book that was talking about how the extra coddling or the extra focus or attention to mental health is actually partially doing harm. But I mean, it is important to note that you can't just ignore mental health altogether. But I can see on the other side, like if you constantly ask somebody, do you have any feelings of, depression or suicide or thoughts of harming yourself? And if you ask them that every day, then eventually they might be like, well, yeah, I guess so, only because you keep bringing it up every day. Like, so you're actually creating a problem instead of fixing a problem, potentially. So, which I mean, it still only goes so far because it's like, if somebody is feeling bad or negative about themselves to the point where they would even think of self-harm and almost every kid goes through it too. That's just part of growing up. Also, okay, I was gonna say, I don't know where, we kind of went down a little bit. Here's the main vein. So we just got all that quartz. Whew, or diorite, sorry. It looks like quartz. I mean, and really granite, which is funny because this is granite. It's very felsic granite with the feldspar, which is the pink mineral. Um, And granite is what the Rocky Mountains are mostly made up of. It's an igneous rock that's mixed with quartz, uh, quartz, feldspar. Oh, is that? I think it is. I think we just hit a geode. Geology was my favorite ology. It's easily my favorite science. It's earth sciences. And it's not just rocks, it's also like volcanoes, earthquakes. And I'm just a novice, by the way. Like, I'm definitely no pro, but I did get the highest grade in my intro to geology class, my level 100 geology class at a community college. Me and this old hippie, very smart guy. And I hate that you have to say that, an old hippie, and follow it up with a very smart guy, because a lot of hippies are very smart. I mean, anyways. Yep. Wait, we gotta be careful because, okay, it looks like that would be okay, but it's the crystals I gotta watch out for. Like this, I'll actually be harvesting, and that's tough. That doesn't even matter. But if you look at this, smooth basalt is a special stone there. I think we can even use the mill on that. And then this block of amethyst. We want all of that, all the blocks of amethyst. So I usually, whenever I see these geodes, I try to take the entire thing, and then yep, we're gonna build some really cool shrines with this. So lecture halls, or not really lecture halls, but shrines, or um, I don't know, just areas that we can represent certain schools of thought. What's that? You got just regular coal in the middle of a geode? Oh, it looks like this is only like a partial geode. Let's see, I mean, now with these things, okay, see, wait, is that amethyst shard, which you can use for construction? But if you use silk touch, you can actually get the crystal itself. And I think there's even a difference between, see this one, how it's different? Oh, no, no, no! Oh, you gotta, okay, that's fine. So see this one that this is growing on, we gotta use the axe for all of it. There we go. Did it? Did it not? Ah. There's budding amethyst. So it's a block in creative that you can do. There's a different type. I mean, so the crystals, yeah, let's go and harvest the crystals. I mean, you can break them into shards, and then the shards are used for the looking glass, or the little magnifying, or it looks like it's a telescope. Yeah, it's a telescope, a pocket telescope, basically. It's like, think of Captain Jack Sparrow, or any of the Pirates of the Caribbean, how they look through the telescope, the monocular, yeah. Anyways, that's why I'm carrying around a book list and a movie list of just media and content to be consumed. Like Monty Python, ugh, so many profound lessons from that bunch of comedians, and they just did skit comedy or sketch comedy, kind of like Saturday Night Live. Also, I mean, we just broke it with the Silk Touch, and actually, see how that looks slightly different? It's got a blur instead of the jagged. So in fact, do I see any more? Yeah, there's one. That blur. Yeah, let's try to do that. Let's try it one more time, just to make sure. Yeah, doesn't look like we can do it. So we can leave those, I guess. And maybe come back with, I need to get a pickaxe with Silk Touch. So I'm wondering if it has to be that. drop that. So anyways, let's see, where's the other one? Plus, this stuff makes music or sound when you walk on it. So it's really cool. Okay, so leave that one. I feel like the Joker in the art museum. You know, scratch that one, vandalize that one, deface that one. No, leave that one. I like this one. You should never destroy or vandalize art. That is human achievement and stuff, but still love the Joker for all the other principles. Alright, let's see. I mean, and there's the rub. Like, if we are able to solve problems on such a macro scale in a scalable way to where it can grow or shrink depending on human population and needs, then there you go. And that's the basis of all religion as far as I'm concerned from what I know starting now. I mean, I'm going to open up the Quran and read all that, study a bit of Islam. I'm not going to become an expert by any means. Um, but like I do know I have one family member who's a professor, a theologian at like a some fancy university, like, and a big part of the Methodist Church. And so I know that eventually I might reach out to him and start asking him questions and stuff, if clarification or whatever. But at least I know an expert on Christianity. Well, Methodist Christianity, but and there is a difference. I mean, it's a Protestant religion, meaning that they have concerns with the Catholic way of things, and so they branched off and did their own thing. Is this diorite too? Are we getting like? Oh, also need to be careful because andesite. I don't need that. Um. Anyways, actually, my main concern is the amethyst. Let's go and get all the amethyst. Oh, you know what? We're gonna just do that. I'm not gonna come back and, or maybe I'll save that one. It's too much. Oh, well, there's another one, but I have one over there. There we go. As long as I leave those, we can come back and use a Silk Touch pickaxe on them. Okay, I gotta be careful because now we're coming back to these. I wanted to save. Wait. So there's two. I thought there was one over here. I might have already. Oh, that one. There we go. Okay, so these four can go. Still a lot of amethyst. I'm pretty excited about this. We went on a mission to go find some kind of building block for these altars or these temples. Basically temples, that's it. And I mean, really, I want to include that and all that because I did a few art history classes in my time, and I think everybody should take some of those just to kind of see human achievement um, throughout history and like how it changed, what's similar, what's different. I mean, because there's a lot. Like there's a lot of reoccurring themes that you notice, and it's nice because it just reaffirms that idea that we're all people and we're all trying to, do and say very similar things, if not the same things. But I mean, and that kind of added humanity to other people helps every other problem, like every other social problem. War, poverty, inequality, murder, genocide, all that. I mean, it's the lack of humanity that allows for a lot of that to happen. It's like, oh, those savages or those godless savages or whatever. You can think about that, and it's been a big thing in history. Like ever since like the Spanish Inquisition and the what were they called? The missionaries. There you go, spreading Christianity, wholly thinking that they're doing a good service to humanity. They're like, yes, we're saving these people from hell, like this hellfire. Which, and some of them were probably not like all too misguided. Like, we're teaching them good morals and ways to live, which is true. Christianity does teach positive values. Now, there's just so much that kind of piggybacks like a Trojan horse off of that, like to where it becomes oppressive. It's like, okay, well now it's not really. It should be advice that you can take it or leave it. Like it doesn't have to be, and it shouldn't have to be an all or nothing thing too. Same with the United States, same with the United Nations. Like I mean, we need to be able to have flexibility and modularity of just about everything. But, government, religion, and that's kind of the natural way of things too, or the natural progression of religion is to branch off into different sects or subgroups that believe in different things, or they prefer this thing or this thing, and and for whatever reason, like different circumstances in one's environment are pretty much one of the biggest driving factors, or um, and communication technology. So basically, yeah, why talk about all this at such great length? I mean, such great length is because religion and politics are the two taboos, and unfortunately, they are the big controllers of everything. I mean, human activity, I mean, I don't know, it's becoming less so now, but it's still prevalent. I mean, we've got Israel and Ghana. I mean, trying to untangle that cord. And I like to think of a lot of problems as untangling computer cords or untangling power cords or audio video cords or whatever cords. Because you don't just want to rip them out. Otherwise, you risk breaking that cord, and then that's an expensive and it's an expensive mistake. Whoops. Sorry, I'm not trying to do any cutesy things with. All right, guys, welcome to my. Eventually, I might. But look at that. All right, we're down here in a hole mining. We're a zombie. So sorry. We have a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. I'm actually going to go run up, come right back down here. So now, I think it was over here. Diorite, too. There it is. Nope, that's the other side. And actually, I should have noticed because I usually put torches on the left side. Okay, so what I can do. There we go. So I'll still come this way, and I think I have another one of these. I don't think it's a geode, but another, like, hey, you might be interested in coming this way and mining. So I'm going to put two there like that to show that there's something there. Alright, and go refill my torches, dump off a bunch of this stuff. So already right there, I mean, in the next couple of episodes, we'll have some altars built. We already have a couple of things going, and I have a book up there. I don't even know what it is. It's like my first sign. Oh, yeah, yeah, it's the clear and transparent voting thing. So here we go. This will be our building materials. All these special blocks. We've got calcite. Oops. I don't know. All this stuff, too. And then the rocks are just random stuff. Wait, did I see some torches? No. But, get some coal. Yeah. So, and then eventually we need to go heal the pickaxe, but yeah. So, all of these things are really computer science. I mean, I think if everybody, and everybody is, that's the way we're heading. Like high school and regular standardized public education in the United States involves computer science at every level. Like every person at least gets a basic understanding of programming. It's awesome. I mean, uh, and just how easy it is to learn nowadays too, because you got to remember back in the days before internet, people had to look at giant manuals and textbooks, and they had to read just tons and tons of pages, and then asking questions, getting help. Like it was insane. And now you can watch a bunch of YouTube videos, and you can literally learn anything. The problem is trying to filter down on the extra filler, and another big humanistic trait we're all guilty of to some degree is being chatty Cathys or not knowing how to stay focused and on point. That's why these musings they're just kind of all over the place, but um, I hope to eventually focus some stuff down, and I am too. Like we've got the Python playlists. Which I already switched that name a couple of times. I was like, let's learn Python. I was like, that sounds too cheesy. That sounds really hokey. Like, if it was me, I wouldn't want to click that link. I'd be like, nah, I'm gonna go learn from somebody else. But I mean, and it's okay. And it's funny because like I'm not even gonna be making money off of it. I don't think ever. And even if I do, that's one of the side projects that I'm designing up is Foo Funds. So, I mean, the closest I'll ever make to be making money off of it is get a very low to zero interest loan. For everything though. That I mean, and that's the idea behind Foo Funds is like, let's organize a bunch of people. And I want to say that's what the credit union idea was originally too, but this would be even more flexible, like ran by volunteers that, they can dedicate some of their time to making sure that people understand how it works, enforcing like the penalties, because if you loan out money to people and there isn't a way of recouping those losses, then you're just going to end up giving a bunch of money to the first few people, and then there's no real incentive to pay it back. So without that incentive, it's a very short business model. But the idea is basically pay it forward on steroids. And so those that aren't familiar with Pay It Forward, it was a great movie, I think in the 90s or late 80s, early 90s, or even mid 90s, whatever. It's got the kid from Sixth Sense that, and he's got a mom who has some problems. I think she has a drinking problem, a very bad one, which a lot of kids can relate to, and a lot of parents. And that's kind of another thing is like you untangle the tangle of chords, and one of those chords is like raising kids. Raising kids in this economy or this day and age, or or with problems, or without therapy, or without mental health maintenance and stuff like that. Like, which people end up getting. I mean, a lot of times, unfortunately, it has to come at the price of being told to by the state, or the county, or the government somehow, and in the form of court ordered therapy or court ordered classes. Um, let's see. It's like that's andesite. We will take this stuff because I do also want to build. I mean, every one of my worlds, I end up building some kind of like Greek temple looking thing, or at least try to. That's why I get excited about this diorite, because it's going to be like a pure, polished diorite thing, structure. And it's funny because like the point of all this is world peace. Like, no grand illusion or illusions of grandeur. Like, oh yeah, I'm just going to fix everything. Well, yeah, that is actually the point. And I talked for quite a while with a guy from Germany on an international flight to Germany. And basically, and I'll never forget what he said. He's like, scientists have to fix the problems that the politicians can't. Now, that's not saying go out and be vigilantes, but scientists and like the people that nerd out and spend so much time in books and websites and training and teaching and all this, like, and basically everybody's kind of leaning more towards nerd just with how available information is. It's not reading books all the time, so the more visual learners, or the people that wouldn't normally be nerdy per se, are now definitely getting nerdy. So it's awesome. I mean, and also labels and pigeonholing too. I definitely got to make sure that I outline that. But anyways, we're getting near the end there. The alarm went off, but I also had to spend a couple of minutes in the setup, so it's okay. I mean, because I like to live dangerously and ride it like right up until maximum memory on my PlayStation. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just keep using it until it absolutely cannot. It's not the best way to approach things, but anyways, no, we're gonna outline all of the different concepts I've been working on, and not just me. A lot of cybersecurity professionals, like a way to unify people, like kind of a MySpace, but it has to be, I don't know, neutral, like not bought by any ads. Like you can't buy them, so there's no influence or force or coercion or anything. It's just an organization of basically a YouTube channel is pretty good about that, or a Twitch channel. I mean, you can have a bunch of links to different things on your Twitch wall or your about page, and I might have to get into that again. I saw I had a new subscriber, and or either that, or I need to at least take the link down and stop advertising my Twitch on the Python guide. In fact, maybe I should do that tonight. At least take it down for now. I apologize to anybody who's also subscribed to my Twitch. I don't really stream that anymore. A lot of people don't. It's fleeting. Like, you have to be really dedicated to do Twitch. It's a lot of work and not a lot of reward, except unless you like to hang out with people and chat with people, which I do, but I like to do it in other people's Twitch channels. So I have more fun being an observer than an actual um, streamer. So, anyways, enough about me. That's about 30 minutes. I will see you in the next one. Ta-ta, and have a great day. I'm sure I'll be on later tonight. First, I got to do the rest of my work day. So, ta-ta for now, everyone. I'll see you in the next one.